Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are currently playing through the closing chapter. So Haruki has finally invited Setsuna out on a date, which was clearly set up by Takeya, Io, and Koharu. Now we're at a jewelry store. You can see the leaf in the background. The store name is Leaf Y Relief. Or Riflef. I can't really read that last part. I think it's English.
はい、大丈夫です。
ただいまサービスでイニシャルをお付けしていますが、どうなさいますか？
イニシャル？
はい、送られる方のお名前ですとか日付ですとか、ほんの30分ほどでできますけど。
いえ、結構です。包んでください。
Doesn't that bring back memories?
かしこまりました。しばらくお待ちください。
はい。
When I first reached this store, wasting around 30 minutes here would have been a trivial loss. If I take the rest of the trip into account right now, though, the time looks pretty tight. All because I spent a good 2 hours in hesitation while looking around here. No. In all honesty, that's not the only reason why I don't want to have her initials engraved. It's been 3 years since then, but I see this store is still in business.
お待たせしました。商品と2000円のお返しになります。
ありがとうございます。
Notably, even the store employee happens to be the same person who greeted me last time. Perhaps this store is under her own private management. How do you remember so well? Unless she looked, like, really memorable.
ありがとうございました。またお越しください。
What I bought here 3 years ago was a silver ring with Setsuna engraved on the inside, which was meant to be a birthday present. But in the end, I never got a chance to give it to her that day, so I just stuffed it in my drawer. No, I don't even know where that silver ring is anymore. Compared to the Christmas present meant for Setsuna I'm currently holding in my hands, that ring brought me so much more pain, anger, and hopelessness. It was a present filled with my heart and soul, and, to an embarrassing extent, my yearning for Setsuna. That's why the moment that those feelings became all for naught, our relationship simply shattered along with them. That's why I can't give her a present that would invite such misunderstandings anymore. Even so, I pushed myself to the limit and struggled for 2 hours, only to end up choosing an ordinary bracelet in the end. It's nothing particularly special, though I suppose it's just a little bit special. It wouldn't be the rain on anyone's parade, but it wouldn't cause them to get their hopes up either. See, this is the thing about Haruki. He doesn't understand people's emotions. Whether or not the bracelet itself is super special or expensive doesn't matter. It's who you're getting it from, and the fact that they were thinking of you. That's what makes it special. It's just a simple Christmas present that's meant for a girl. Setsuna will definitely accept it with a bright smile on her face. But would the smile she'd show me today be genuine? If I remember correctly, the weather forecast did mention that the strongest period of cold of the year is approaching. The host of the talk show I watched this morning was also excitedly talking about the possibility of a white Christmas this year too. However, I had spent 2 whole hours being at a loss inside that store. So despite having known about the possibility beforehand, the sight of this snow-filled scenery came so abruptly that it stopped me in my tracks for a few seconds.
Yuki.
The first snowfall of the year. How fitting. White spirits manifested from the hopes of many who wished for their arrival, falling upon all on the most celebrated day in the world. I guess they mean falling upon all people? Students excitedly look up to the sky. Lovers gaze out the windows of cafes. White-collar workers wearing coats pick up their paces as if they feel a bit inconvenienced by it all. regardless of whether people are happy, excited, or simply annoyed by it. They seem to understand what the falling snow on this very day entails, if only slightly. And so they feel a little happier, a little more forgiving, and a little closer to one another than usual.
雪。冷たい冷たい。雪合戦できるよ。雪だるまも作れるよ。
They were so happy.
やられた。見事にしてやられた。まだまだだな、私も。
せつな、まだだ。まだはしゃぐな。今は車を掘り出さないと。あとトーマ、笑ってないで手伝え。
Beautiful memories. Not so beautiful anymore.
ずっとこうしてたいね。雪だよ、春樹くん。
ただいま車両点検のため上下線とも遅れが生じております。ご迷惑をおかけしております。
Train delays in Japan tends to happen with the snow. The 2 train transfers, oh that's hard to say, TTT, 2 train transfers, I've made so far managed to operate on schedule somehow. But at the station for my final transfer, the snow finally became heavy enough to start hindering the operation of the trains.
遅れるかな。
It's 4:10 p.m. right now. Had everything gone according to schedule, I would have made the 4:30 meeting time with about 5 minutes to spare. That said, not making sure I had enough time to compensate for unforeseen circumstances like this one is unmistakably an oversight on my part. I mean, he gave himself 2 extra hours. But given he was stuck in the jewelry store for 2 hours, yeah. The time I wasted looking through the jewelry shop is really biting me in the back right now. I hope I can at least make it in time for the movie. Still, it doesn't look like I can avoid being late, even if only by a few minutes. That's why I...
春樹くん、
ごめん。
今どこ？大丈夫？
今移動中。ちょっと遅れる。最後の最後でダイヤが乱れててさ。
そっか、しょうがないよね。この天気だもん。
そっちはもうついてる？
うん。ちょっと早めに来てウィンドウショッピングしてたから。降り始めたのもこっち着いてからだったし。
ごめん。待ち合わせ昼くらいにしとけば。映画見る前に一緒に店回ってもよかったのに。
お天気のせいだから仕方ないよ。雪だったら仕方ない。
Aww, the snow.
ちょっと遅れるけどすぐ行くから。もし映画始まっちゃってたら先に入ってて。
そんな。
遅れるけど必ず行くから。終わっちゃってても顔だけ出すから。
Oh, that is painful. Painful parallels.
ああ、でもチケット俺が持ってる。しまった。本当にごめん。せっかくの。
いいんだよ。もし映画に間に合わなかったら、それこそ一緒にお店回ろうよ。
ごめん。ごめんな、せつな。こんなはずじゃなかったのに。
It's such a small thing. If you make a big deal out of it, it's gonna seem worse than it is.
だから、そんなに一生懸命謝られても。
Oh.
やめてよ。必死で謝らないで。そんなことしなくても来てくれればいいんだから。
せつな。
ほんのちょっとの遅刻じゃない。 大げさなんだよ、春樹くんは。
遅刻は遅刻だから。
そういうところやっぱり春樹くんだよね。全然変わってない。
せつな。
とにかく待ってるから春樹くんは気にしないで。あ、でも無理に走ったりしないでね。怪我でもされる方が嫌だよ、私。
ただいま路面の整備が間もなく完了するとの連絡が入りました。約10分遅れで発車できる見込みです。ただしこれ以上降雪が激しくなりますと途中駅で運転を取りやめることにございます。
10分遅れで発車するみたいだ。そっち着くの40分くらいになるかな。
Oh, I'm really glad that was audible over the phone, though, that Setsuna could hear that, so she can be a little reassured, like, no, this isn't a lie, Haruki's not lying, it's the train was really delayed and he's gonna be here.
ほら見なさい、十分映画に間に合うよ。別に連絡なんかいらなかったのに。
とりあえず着いたらまた連絡する。悪いけどどっかあったかいところで待ってて。
うん、分かってる。それじゃあまたね。あと20分。本当に絶対に。
Oh, I can't blame her for being super nervous. Don't cry.
Yuki だよ。
Don't cry.
春樹くん、雪なんだよ。私、雪は嫌。
The train arrived at the station at 4:35. After calling Setsuna, I learned that she moved from the seaside park, which had been our original meeting place, to a nearby shopping mall, so she could take shelter from the snow. Since I haven't been around here much, I got a little lost, but after a good 5 minutes of sprinting, that's very like Haruki, I finally reached Setsuna.
走るなって言ったのに。
In a place where dozens of people passed by, devoid of any emotional or sentimental ambiance. I finally met her again. Oh, yay!
ああ、なんか湯気出てるよ。ほら、ちょっとかがんで、春樹くん。
It's been a fortnight since we last met each other, but it's also our first proper rendezvous in many months. Setsuna and I had shackled ourselves despite the fact that this was never meant to have been forbidden for us. Also, kind of a small thing, but those two students in the background are definitely wearing the high school uniform. And high school is definitely on a winter break right now, so I don't know why they're wearing their school uniforms. Anyway.
すごいね。ほんの数分で頭にこんな積もってる。強くなってきたんだね。
今はかなり暗くなってきたし、視界も結構怪しかった。
But now that we're face to face like this, Setsuna's behavior isn't showing any signs of the heaviness it always had up until now.
今度は後ろ向いて。うわあ、コートも真っ白。
She's patting the snow off my hair and back like any considerate girlfriend would, and chatting with me unreservedly as if this was just a regular date. In that case,
じゃあ映画館の方行こうか。そろそろ前の回は終わってる頃だろ。
I have to respond to the way Setsuna's treating me now in kind. Aww.
映画館といえばポップコーンだよね。
間違って L サイズ頼んだらダメだからな。ここのはバケツで出てくるから。
Yeah, your fancy $200 each dinner is in 2 hours, so do not eat too much popcorn. Regardless of whether or not her attitude is merely a facade, I have no choice but to accept her currently cheerful and carefree state as being authentic.
そんなことしたら夕ご飯食べられないね。
それだけは勘弁してくれ。ポップコーン数十個分のコストがかかってるから。
Haruki, don't say that.
ちょっと春樹くん、今日のディナーいくらかかってるの？そういえばアルミインテグラルホテルって言ってたよね。 あそこに入ってるお店って高級店ばっかりじゃ。
Shouldn't have said anything. That makes things awkward.
気にするなってそんなの。今日は俺の方から誘ったんだし。
That's why I'm going to assume the role of a boyfriend who's trying to go the extra mile to prepare a special date for a special day.
ダメだよそんなの。春樹くん生活費のためにバイト掛け持ちまでしてるのに。
半分はやりたくてやってることだし。
わかった。じゃあ半分。食事代私も自分の分持つから。で、今日のディナーいくらかかってるの？
Let's not tell you. And by doing that, Setsuna will become the mature girlfriend who's more concerned about the situation than her boyfriend's pride for me in return.
ダメだってそんなの。とてもじゃないけど簡単に出せる額じゃ。
Haruki.
私相手にそんなにお金かけても意味ないよ。ラーメン屋だって喜んで付き合う女の子なんだよ。
That's exactly what Haruki said. Not Haruki, Takeya. Takeya or Io. One of them said that. We've been together for 3 years, so I suppose it's natural that we're on the same wavelength.
それでも今日はフランス料理で喜んでくれよ。こっちにも見栄とか世間体とか諦めとかあるんだよ。
Even I know when to give up and put a little more effort into looking respectable for others, okay?
諦めってどういうこと？やっぱり春樹くん無理してる。
If we wanted to, we could easily make anyone around us just think we're an intimate couple where the girl is just a touch more assertive than the guy.
無理はしてるけど、セツナとは全然関係ない方向性だから。
If only we could have deceived ourselves like this as well. Maybe there really could have been a happily ever after for the both of us. See, stop thinking like that. You're literally on a date with her on Christmas Eve. Things are going well. Don't ruin it.
やまないね、雪。
Ah, it looks beautiful. With a window seat and all. That's amazing. Supporting her cheek with her left hand, Setsuna gazes at the falling snow outside the windows on her right. They might be able to paint the sky right above the sea in pure white, but those tiny specks of snow prove powerless against the dark, unlit waters below, and are swallowed almost instantly on contact. The movie is ended, and we're almost finished with our meal as well. It's a little before 9 p.m., and I'm finally able to relax a bit. Wow, it's a long dinner. They've been eating for almost 2 hours. Setsuna also seemed to have reined in her excitement a little as well, as she presents herself before me, and is starting to let her genuine feelings of slight listlessness show. Even so, today, Setsuna is...
何？なあ、これ？
Saying that, she lifts her left hand that she's been resting her head against, and with the help of the candlelight in front of her, gives me a good view of her bracelet. It seems that Setsuna thinks that's the reason I've been staring at her.
いや、それは。
どう？似合うでしょ。素敵な男性からプレゼントされたんだよ。気になる？
That's so adorable. She does like the present at least.
ならないって。
春樹くんそういうの嫉妬したりしないんだ。ちょっと悔しい。
な。
とっても嬉しかったんだよ。その人のこと今までよりずっと気になり始めたの。これでも嫉妬しない？
ああ、嫉妬したし気になるな。そんなすごい贈り物をしたかっこよくてゴージャスで大金持ちの男に会ってみたいもんだな。
はいどうぞ。大金持ちってのはちょっと外れかもしれないけど。
Oh, at least they're poking fun at each other. That's good.
ミラーをしまえ。今はまだ食事中だ。
Reflected in that small mirror of hers is a gloomy-looking young man with his face turned to the side as if out of embarrassment. Why is he gloomy? It's been a great day. Let me take back what I said. It doesn't seem as if she's reined in her excitement just yet.
安物だぞ、それ。
She put on the Christmas present I gave her before dinner started almost immediately. and she still finds her right hand reaching for her left wrist from time to time.
さっきも言ったじゃない。私は安い女の子なんだよ。
See, there you go. It's the fact that someone's thought of you, not the amount of money you spent. Even though I still haven't managed to deliver that passionate present I put so much of my heart into, she's already accepted the present I only decided upon within a day, that easily. Things don't always turn out the way you want them to, I suppose.
こういうのにコロッと騙されちゃうんだ。せっかくの豪華ディナーも喉を通らないくらい感激しちゃうんだ。
費用対効果としては最悪というか逆効果なんだけど。でも大丈夫か？
何が？
料理喉を通らないって言ったろ？本当にあまり食べてないじゃないか。
大丈夫だって。
That's right. What's really on my mind isn't the fact that there's a new accessory around Setsuna's left wrist. Despite having made a comment about not forgetting popcorn when coming to the cinema, she didn't even bring so much as a drink with her when we went inside. As for our dinner, she did her best to finish the soup and salad, but ended up leaving more than half of her main course on her plate long after it arrived. Setsuna! This meal was expensive! And she's only had a sip of the wine, too. But above all else, the complexion on her face seems...
本当は体調悪いんじゃないのか？それなのに無理して雪の中出てきて。
No, let me go instead. I would finish all the food and wine.
違うよ。
けど。
体はどこも悪くない。熱だって平熱。なんなら測ってみる？
刹那。
With both of her hands on the table for support, she leans forward and pokes her forehead out. After some hesitation, I press my hand against her forehead. And as she said, it doesn't feel like she has a fever.
食べないのは最近ダイエットしてたせい。夜はパスタだけとか結構やるんだ。だからもうお腹いっぱいになっちゃって。
そういうの体に良くないぞ。ちゃんと栄養が偏らないように。
そう言われると思ったから黙ってたの。そのせいで余計な心配かけちゃったけどね。
絶対に大丈夫だな。嘘ついてないな。
春樹くんのお財布と同じくらいには大丈夫だよ。
That's not very fine at all.
そこまで俺をビビらせたいか？今救急車呼ぼうかと思ったぞ。
お互い見えっ張りだね。
It's not that it doesn't feel like she's trying to hide something, but regardless, she rejects my intervention with a devious smile on her face. I can't tell if she's actually completely fine, or if she's actually feeling a little ill, just by looking at her though. What she did manage to get across to me, however, is that she wants to treasure the time we're spending together right now. Even if it means she'll have to grin and bear through whatever's troubling her.
そういえばさ。
何？
そのブレスレットいいな。どうしたんだ？
でしょでしょ？聞いてくれる？
They're so cute. That's why I have no choice. I should at least do my very best to answer her feelings. I don't care how forced or stupid I look doing it. I simply want to treasure the time I'm spending with Setsuna as well.
あのさ。
We've finished our dessert, and the table's been cleared as well. All that's left is our remaining chatter after our meal and the bill.
刹那にもう一つ渡すものがあるんだけど。
But to me, this is precisely the critical moment that I've spent all this time and money in preparation for.
実はいつ渡してくれるのかなって映画が始まる前から気にしてたんだよ。春樹くんずいぶんもったいぶる。
ごめん、別にそういうわけじゃあるかもしれないけど。
Even though I'd decided from the very beginning to give it to her today, I ended up hesitating right before I was about to give it to her time and time again. Because the time I spent with Setsuna today was so reminiscent of the past. because the thoughts of wanting these moments to last have been clouding my mind the entire time. And because I was afraid that everything would come to an end.
これが俺の書いた記事が載った本。一応バイトが記事書くのって異例らしいんだけど。
Oh man, why? Just enjoy the date, don't do the magazine.
珍しい。春樹くんのさりげない自慢。
一応自分でも快挙だとは思ってるから。
Perhaps I really shouldn't be talking about this to Setsuna, and only Setsuna. Perhaps the right thing to do was to continue hiding it from her. If I don't want to shut the doors to a potential future with Setsuna, that is.
あれ？カズサ？
アンサンブルの今月号。とある若手ピアニストの特集記事。
Still, on the other hand, Setsuna is the only person that I have to tell, no matter what. I have to let her know, no matter what. If I want to open the door to a potential future with Setsuna, that is. Oh, he's so conflicting. Honestly, I really don't think you had to do this.
先月の海洋グラフに載ってたトーマがすごい反響でさ。急遽音楽誌の方でも特集を組むことになったんだ。
海洋グラフって
実はそこが俺のバイト先。セツナから電話もらった時しらばっくれてた。言えなくってごめん。怒った。
読んでいい？
ああ。
Setsuna finally flips open the first page and starts looking for my article.
海洋グラフの記事を書いたのは俺の上司兼雇い主。
To be honest, I don't know what my chances are.
その人がかなりの切れ者でさ。トーマと俺が同級生だってすぐに見抜いて俺に振ってきた。
This is no doubt going to be an important crossroad in our lives, and yet I don't have the slightest clue of what's about to happen. How many years has it been since I last felt like this?
つまり俺が仕事をもらえたのはただの縁故。
I'm sure that the last time I felt like this, I had to make one of two choices, and one of those choices would have led to Setsuna accepting me with a smile.
トーマがこんなに有名にならなければ絶対に回ってこなかった仕事だよ。
But it was a choice I did not opt for. That's why it's a future that's been sealed away.
だから利用させてもらった。俺トーマのことを利用した。
Boy, you don't gotta put it like that. That's stupid.
就職に有利だと思ったから。自分にとっていい経験が積めると思ったから。あいつを売り渡した。
Honestly, yeah, she's right to laugh.
ふ
Pooh.
何これ？すごいこと書いてるね。
どれが？
After waiting so sternly for my sentence, what came out of her mouth was neither anger, mockery, sorrow, nor scolding.
どれかも何も最初から最後までめちゃくちゃじゃない？お腹痛い。
But a charming giggle.
成績は3年間ずっと低空飛行だったとか。
俺たちが見てやらなければ絶対卒業できなかったぞ。
お母さんに捨てられたって勘違いして付属時代はずっとグレてたとか。
勘違いだろ。その証拠に今は一緒に住んでる。
食事はファーストフードとコンビニばかり。腸がつくほどの甘党でコーヒーに砂糖5杯って。
全部事実だ。セツナだって目の当たりにしただろ。
こんなこと書いちゃっていいの？カズさん、期待の CA ピアニストなんでしょ？
Setsuna just keeps on laughing. Man, knowing what we know and how after she read the article she was like crying in her room for days without eating, this laughter is just really painful to listen to. Looking down with her hands on her stomach, her body ever so slightly trembling. It isn't what I expected, but it's the reaction I had hoped for.
受け狙いだよ。
And so, I return a reaction that she definitely isn't hoping for. Why? Literally, why? People like Haruki like they enjoy being sad. They enjoy being down on themselves because then they never have to get their hopes up. Terrible, terrible person to be.
そう書けば反響大きいかなって。現に刹那だって受けただろ。
春樹くん？
As if trying to provoke her, I keep saying things that further erase the smile from Setsuna's face.
今の俺にとってトーマカズサってのはそういう相手なんだ。世間を驚かせて俺が評価されるための取材対象。
Like, seriously, I think this is maybe the worst side of Haruki. Like, he's so afraid of things going bad. He's like, well, if anything's gonna ruin my night, it's gonna be me. Man. And just like that, little by little, I delved deeper and deeper into Setsuna's and my wounds.
この仕事やってみて分かったんだ。俺があいつに抱いてる感情っていつの間にかこんな風に変わってたんだなって。
I might look like I'm not putting much thought into it, but I'm choosing my words very, very carefully.
だから本当のことを書けた。いいことばかりじゃなく、不都合なことも全部。いや、むしろそっちの方を誇張して。
Haruki's putting a bad taste in my mouth. We're gonna stop off there. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of White Album 2, and I'll be back to you with another episode soon. Until then, I hope you take care. See you!